the official visit with Jackson State commit Jojo Smiley. What's going on, Jojo?
Not much. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How your day going so far?
Pretty good. Woke up, went and got a haircut. And, right here, right now, and then gonna go get a little workout in later after this.
All right, cool. So Jojo is from Lake Minneola, Florida. Jojo, what part of Florida is that in?
It's like 20 minutes from Orlando. It's like it's basically a smaller version of Orlando.
Got you. And JoJo was a two-sport star. Played some football. He was a wide receiver. He also is a baseball player. Give us a little background about yourself, JoJo.
Um, Originally I was born in Kissimmee, Florida. Um, so I got into sports when I was about 4 years old, like 4 or 5 years old. Started out playing flag football, and then when I was about 7, my mom, she signed me up for just like coach pitch baseball. And honestly, like I'd never played it before, never watched it, never read about it. So I was completely new to it. And just off of like judging it at first, I hated it. I'm not even gonna lie, it was not my thing. But um, the very first game I ever played, I forgot what I think she said I hit like a inside the park home run or something, because I've always just been like naturally fast. And ever since then, I mean, I was still back and forth between, which one I like more, football or baseball. But throughout the years, I just kind of gravitated more towards baseball. And now I'm going to college for it. So, I mean, the story kind of just tells itself. But yeah, baseball was it wasn't my first love, but it's what I love now for sure.
Got you. So, how do you think being a dual sport athlete helped your development in baseball?
Oh my gosh, the athleticism that I have, um, like at practice and even going to showcases. I just always kind of had that edge, being a little bit more in shape. Playing football, it definitely teaches you. You have to be able to, go from going full speed, and you got to break down. You never know if you got to make a cut or something. Um, Going for jump balls, playing wide receiver taught me a lot how to be lighter on my feet, um, being more elusive, and then really like just tracking balls, because playing in the outfield, you're gonna have to track the balls, and playing wide receiver, quarterback throws you a go route or something, you got to be able to run under it, adjust your route if you need to. So it kind of just translates over from sport to sport. So I just kind of felt like I had that edge over a lot of other players with just certain skill levels and aspects of the game.
So, would your football teammates try to come at you a little bit, think you was soft because you played baseball?
Mm, I mean, maybe like in the mindset, but once they saw like how developed my body was for my age, then they kind of realized, they're like, all right, he might play like both sports, but he's a pretty big guy. So, um, and I was new to the school, so like no one had a background on me. I played Pop Warner with a couple of the guys, but it had been so long ago, they didn't really like remember what I was actually capable of doing until it was about midway through the first season. And once I got like comfortable with the team, and I got in the groove and just started playing ball, and they saw what I was able to do. So I think they gained a little bit of respect for baseball players.
Gotcha. Because sometimes I think baseball dudes soft, man. But I keep telling you, I know football dudes that can't stand in there with 65 miles coming at them. They running.
Mhm. They can't touch 90. I'll tell you that much.
Oh no.
Yeah.
So I know we're talking about baseball, but you're 6'2", 210 pounds, and you play wide receiver.
Yes, sir. Yep.
What
See, so honestly, no one really like expected it. everyone thought I would be a fullback or running back or something, maybe go on defense. But just for like the safety reasons and trying to be smart about both sports, I had to kind of make a decision like, do I want to potentially risk getting injured at running back, missing football season and baseball season, or do I want to play it safe, go to wideout, still get good film, and I mean, you could get injured at any position, but the
Right.
risk is just a lot less at receiver. So that was ultimately what like influenced that whole decision. But at the end of the day, I mean, I think it was a pretty good one because the main reason I chose receiver was so I could be a deep threat receiver because I know most corners in and like at the local schools, and I feel like really anywhere, most of them couldn't really keep up with me. So I just run a go route, burn them, and go score. That was my thing. So that was basically what led to playing receiver.
Gotcha. So we're gonna bring it back to baseball. When did you realize you had the potential or the baseball ability to potentially play college baseball?
Uh, I always had people telling me that like I had a lot of potential, even at a young age, playing in little leagues. But for me, I think I realized when I want to say I was probably in eighth grade or ninth grade. Um, I just, I honestly just realized that one, it was the sport that I actually enjoyed playing the most just for me. But um, like I said before, I just felt like I had an edge over a lot of the other kids. And, you know, God blessed me with a lot of natural athleticism, and it'd be a shame if I let it go to waste. So, you know, once the mindset changed, I got in the gym, um, started taking the game more serious, like day by day. And I would say probably sophomore year was when it really clicked that I was like, all right, I definitely can do this. I just have to, you know, put my mind to it. Game's going to be hard because, there's strikeouts and all that other stuff. And once I just accepted that there's going to be failures and, how to balance the failures and success, then I was like, all right, I think I could do this for real.
Gotcha. So before you were recruited by Jackson State, did you have any knowledge or exposure to HBCU baseball?
Not really. Mm-mm.
And how did you end up getting? How did your recruiting process, or how did that connection with Jackson State come about?
So it was actually right after a football game. So I played games on Friday nights, and then there was a showcase out in Daytona by Minority Prospects Baseball, and
Okay.
first time I've ever heard of them. But my mom had done some research, got me into the showcase. So um, come home from the game, get some rest, and by like 8 a.m. we're out the door heading to Daytona, and we started with the 60. My 60 was real good. So, that already drew attention. Go to outfield drills and, they're getting the velos and everything. Velo was decent. But what really stood out was my speed and when they threw BP and they were like, this kid, he got some power, he got some pop. So we go from BP and then we did like lives and I don't remember the kid that was pitching, but I I was just playing natural ball and took them deep. And they were like, all right, we got to get this kid into the showcase. They had this like all American showcase. And I guess they take kids from like all different states and everything, just throw them into one big game. So that was at FIU. So I go to that, played pretty good. And then right after that was the tournament, that real big tournament out in Jupiter. So I had got invited to play with actually the shirt I'm wearing right now. It's the Blue Jay
Okay.
Scout team. I got invited to play with them. So I went to that, played pretty good there, and that's where Coach Whiteside was. That was the first time I'd ever seen him. and they had been following us around. And tournament came to an end. He went back, told Coach Johnson, and then eventually got in contact with me and my mom. And we took a visit one day. And the rest is history. I just fell in love with the school since then, and then ended up committing there.
That's what's up, man. So what did you what did you like? What drew you into the school?
Um, the first thing that really caught my eye was just the size. It wasn't anything that was like it wasn't too scary for me. I'm kind of more like an introverted guy, so I kind of liked how it was designed. It was kind of small, but it was it just felt like the right fit for me because there's not a lot of things that can get my mind off track. Just be school, baseball, repeat the same thing. So um, aside from that, though, the coaches, I mean, Coach Johnson and Coach Whiteside are just some real cool guys. So um, definitely like them. And then I got to hang out with a couple other players, Shanar Brown, Ty Hill. Um, they took me to the cages one night while I was up there on the visit. And I mean, they're just some real cool guys, real down to earth, teaching me a little bit of things while I was there. And, it was really just cool to be around baseball players that I can actually relate to because, a couple of them, they got the same stories, same background type thing. So it was like, it just felt real natural, real comfortable. And that really just kind of made me feel like I would be a real good fit at Jackson State.
Gotcha. And what are you planning to major in?
Right now I'm set on industrial engineering, but um, I've been doing a little bit of thinking, and I kind of want to stay closer to like the sports field. So I'm probably going to get into something sports related, and I think I might go into sports administration. If they offer that, I'd probably do that. Stay closer to the sports and get some more connections. And eventually, I want to, if like everything baseball related doesn't work out, then I want to be a coach and try to, help out some kids that kind of came from where I came from. They don't have money for all the private lessons and all of that stuff, and they're just you can see like the determination and how bad they want it. They just don't have all the resources. So I kind of want to be able to, for way less price, just give back and give kids what I wasn't able to get.
Now, I heard you earlier when you were talking about your visit. You said you like the fact that you could be around guys that you could relate to.
Mm.
What does that mean to you about having that type of bond or familiarity going into your college experience?
Um, you know, Almost at every school that I've been to, there's only one black guy on the team, and it's normally me. So, when I went up there, it felt real nice to, just be around a whole bunch of guys that, look like me, kind of have the same story. Um, or even if it's not the same story, they can understand the story a lot better than um, the kids like where I'm from. So it was just like comforting to, be able to speak on certain things and, not feel like, oh, they're going to judge me for it. They'll be like, okay, I get it. They've
Right.
been around something like that before. So it's like nothing new to them. And even like if they did have the same story, then, I could kind of ask them how they got over certain things, how, growing up for them was just things like that, so you can get a different insight, kind of, get some advice and stuff like that.
All right. So if I'm a recruit and I'm interested in an HBCU and I come to you for advice, what are you gonna tell me?
You said if you're recruiting
If I'm a
and
if I'm a
you're
recruit, like we played on the same summer league
oh
team, and I say,
yeah.
hey Jojo, man, I'm getting recruited by by Grambling, Southern, Jackson State, Texas Southern. You going to Jackson State, man? What you think, man? Like, what advice would you give me?
I would say take it, honestly. A lot of people look down on HBCUs because, they don't have the same name as like, the bigger Power Five schools like Tennessee or something like that. But personally, how I think about it, if you're a ball player and, you're putting up stats, you're getting numbers, all this other stuff, all the MLB attention and whatever you're looking for, it'll find you. It doesn't really matter about what school you're at because I was just reading something the other day, and I think it was Aaron Rodgers or something like that. He started out at a JUCO that no one had ever heard of and became one of the biggest quarterbacks in NFL history. So for me, it's a matter of what are you willing to do to get your name out there, and it's really not about what school you're at or who the coach is, what history they have. If you could play, then they're gonna find you. So that's tell anyone that's kind of having second thoughts about it or even just looking for advice. I say take it because one, HBCUs, they're gonna help you out a lot in not only on the field but in the classrooms. The academic advisors are all everyone is there for you. No one's working against you. Everyone's trying to build you up and help you get to where you want to go. So for me, I think HBCUs are honestly a great fit for a lot of minorities, and I think they deserve a lot more publicity than they get because they're doing some great things. A lot of them are doing great things.
Gotcha. So you're an outfielder. So you're a center fielder or corner outfielder?
Center field.
Oh man. So is it the no-fly zone with you?
No errors this season.
All right. So
No errors.
so if you had to give yourself a comparison of whoever would be your player comparison, it could be college or MLB of what you play, who you play like.
Honestly, I cannot relate my game to anyone but myself. I mean, I feel like I have like my own play style really. I used to, have people I looked up to and everything like that, but I think once I hit about 10th grade, I just kind of blocked all that out and said I'm just going to play like me. And I've just been doing that since then. But if there was one person I had to compare myself to, I'd probably say Bo Jackson.
Okay.
I get compared to him almost on a daily basis. So I see it though. He's a big guy, also dual sport athlete. So I see where people come from with that.
I got you. I got you. With you being a Jackson State commit, I want to say this interview means a lot more to me because you a little brother to me now, coming into the fold in Jackson, man. Go down there and knock it out, man. Kill it when you get there. Go win
Yes,
some championships. Cause I'm gonna be watching you, man.
yes, sir. Will do.
Um, if you had to pick between mossing a guy or running the ball down the center field, which one you gonna do? Which one would you rather have?
Ah, um, well, I've done both multiple times, honestly. Uh, I think I'd honestly have to choose running the ball down the center because no one expects me to get to him. Like, um, there was this one tournament I was playing at in Auburndale, and the fields were huge, and I was playing kind of shallow. I don't know why, but I was just playing really far in. This kid cranks one to the warning track, and I just take off. Like I look at the ball, put my head down, and just get going. And I'm running, running, running. Get to the warning track, look up, catch it, and I throw it back in. After the game, the coach from the other team comes over, and he's like, "Who are you, and how did you catch that ball?" Told him my name, and he was like, "Dude, that was crazy." And then actually, that next inning, when I came up, I hit a home run over left field fence. It was like straight on the line, no loop. It was just straight off the bat gone. And he got my information, and he also helped out getting me recruited. He sent my name out to a couple of coaches, and yeah, he became like a real close guy to me. He doesn't live too far out from here, but yeah, he helped out, and but aside from him helping out, it was just funny. That's like the first time a coach has actually came up to me right after a game, like just ignored his team real quick, came up to me and was just like, "How did you do that?" And no one really expected me to, get from here to there, and how quick I did. So it's a cool moment, especially when you do it so much, it kind of just becomes like a second nature type thing.
Gotcha. And with you being such a big guy, did teams ever pitch around you?
All the time. I don't get fastballs. I get fastballs. It's slider, curveball, anything that breaks. So that's one thing I had to focus on a lot this season. Trying to increase my baseball IQ and everything. I had to figure out in the beginning of the season I wasn't playing too good, so I had to figure out, make a change, and I started asking my coaches. I was like, what can I do to try to pick it up, help out the team a little more? And they were like, you got to start hitting the breaking ball. So we got a machine, and first I started with fastballs, just to get better hitting velo and stuff. And then once I got comfortable with that, I started having them throw curveballs, sliders, left hand, right hand, didn't matter. I had to, learn the spin, see how it's gonna break, um, anything that could give me an edge, because we had a pretty deep run in our season. I think we made it. I don't even remember where we made it, but
The region finals.
yeah. And even still then, I think I got towards the end of the season, I probably got like 5 fastballs from probably 7 different games combined. And it was just, after that, once I started hitting the breaking ball, then they really didn't know what to pitch to me. So if they threw a fastball, it would be outside, I'll foul it off or something, try to put it in play. But honestly, once they started throwing the curveballs and the sliders, then that's where I started to feel comfortable, because most of the time they'd either miss inside or middle, like middle in. So I just wait for it to break, let it cut, just drive it.
Man, so see you smart.
Yes, sir.
Smart guy. See you went, you figured out how to deal with that adversity in the game to make that now, take a weakness now to make that a strength.
Yeah.
So what do you think some of your other strengths are in baseball?
I think one thing that I definitely have that I try to teach my teammates, and it all just depends on their maturity levels and how bad they actually want it. But the mindset, because this game is so mental, like it'll destroy you. Like it really will destroy you. Because I said in the beginning of the season, I was not playing good. Everyone knew who I was and had all these big expectations and everything, but I just, I wasn't living up to it. And I was like, I have 2 options. I can either fold and just, let this be my reality and just have everyone, talking, oh, yeah, he does good during practice, but he can't play in the game. Or, I could block it all out, get back in my zone and do what I know I could do. So, I tried to teach them that it's not always about living up to the expectations that people put around you, but it's really about living up to what you know that you can do. And I honestly think that once my mindset changed and I just started, accepting the failures and, figuring out how to overcome them, that's when my game really started to elevate. Because if I didn't make that change, then I couldn't even tell you how this season would have ended for me. But, I made a switch middle of the season and started playing ball how everyone expected. But even then, it still wasn't about, what's this team going to say, what's this parent going to say. It was about, I'm going to play the game today and I'm going to do what I know I could do. And that was the big thing for me. That's honestly what I was most proud of this season, aside from, having success and everything. I was just proud that I was able to self-diagnose it well, I can't say self-diagnosed because my mom, she helped me out a lot with it, but it was still, up to me to actually make the change. So I was just really proud of myself for being able to do that in such a small amount of time.
Now I live here in the Atlanta area, and I know the high school baseball talent and the competitiveness of it is like crazy.
Mhm.
What's the baseball like down there in your area?
Uh, Out here, we got some real good teams. And Mike, so like how I said earlier, Claremont or Lake Mineola is basically inside of Claremont, and Claremont's 20 minutes from Orlando. So you have Lake County here and Orange County here, and it's like right next to each other. And our coach, he wanted to give us a little harder schedule, so we started playing, teams from that side on Orange County. So that's Lake Brantley. They've always just been good. I mean, they produce guys, going to Power Fives like it's nothing. There's Lake Brantley, TFA, West Orange, Apopka. There's a whole bunch of teams out there that's just crazy good, and a lot of people kind of sleep on like what there is to offer out here. But I think if they come and watch a game and see, the talent that both teams, because every game I've played, there's always been some crazy talent on both sides of the ball. My team and the other team, it's really like starting to get on the come up out here. There's just everyone's kind of elevating their game a lot, and then during summer, a lot of the kids from the local high schools, they'll play on the same summer team, so you'll have an edge over certain guys because you'll know, okay, I know what he throws, I know what he tops at, certain things like that. And then out of nowhere, the high school, they'll get a transfers from some random school. So now you got three pitchers, sitting at like 92, 93, something like that. And then they have one kid that can just, break it off, and he'll sit like 85, 86, but just has nasty movement on his breaking balls. So like the talent out here is real. It's real good.
So by playing that talent going into college, you already feel pretty much prepared, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm not scared. Not scared at all.
All right, all right, all right. So if you had to rank center fielders, Andrew Jones, Ken Griffey Jr., who is your center fielder?
Griffey.
Why?
Ah, I just like the way he played. Like he played with he just played so relaxed, and he had this swag to him and everything. And
Mm,
um, I just grew up. I actually grew up playing his son in Little League. Um, but that doesn't mean anything for why I choose him. It was just
right.
growing up watching him, his like YouTube highlights and everything like that. Um, it just kind of didn't necessarily give me a bond with him, but it just kind of made me. That was also like one of the reasons why I started to like baseball more. I watched a lot of his highlights. Andrew McCutcheon, um, Jackie Robinson, like he started it all. So
Right.
having these other black guys that kind of paved the way for us, and basically let us know I did it, you could do it too. So um, guys like that, I just kind of like to stay close to home and see how they did it. Also, D. Gordon. I used to when I went to Montverde actually, because him and Francisco Lindor, they were like I guess good friends, and I'd see him up at the school. They'd be practicing together sometimes. Um, but just seeing guys like that, seeing how hard they work, and it's a sacrifice, but it's a real good feeling deep down knowing that, okay, I'm seeing another guy do it. I definitely can do it too.
Now I'm gonna tell you, I picked up on some things about you since we've been talking. Um, you got good work ethic. You're a student of the game, and also you're self-reflective. I can tell that about you, and that's good. That's gonna take you a long way in life outside of baseball. And I can also tell that you're a smart young man. You got your head on straight. Um, as always, like I said last week, you going to Jackson State, man. So it's bigger than baseball with me to you. You like a little brother to me, you know. This first time we spoke, like I've seen you, but we texted, you know, set the
Yeah.
situation up. Like, man, I'm proud to see that we have more young men going to HBCUs playing baseball. I love seeing what, like, the fact that you had no idea about what was going on with HBCUs. You go to the minority um, baseball prospect showcase, and bam, now it's a connection.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's amazing. Hopefully we see you in the minority prospect HBCU All-Star game during your time at Jackson State. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to or thank?
Yes. Big shout out to my mom. She's working right now, but uh, she's honestly like the reason I am like who I am today. You know, I picked up a lot from her throughout the years. You know, growing up, seeing how hard she had to work. You know, it's really just been her the whole time. 'Cause my parents split when I was about 2 or 3 years old, and it wasn't always like how it is right now. You know, she had to really grind and work real hard to, you know, be able to keep a house over her and my other two brothers. They're older, they moved out, but you know, she had to provide for us, you know, food, clothes. She had all of us playing sports, you know, so she had to buy equipment, cleats, all that other stuff. She had all of us in baseball. Also, back when I ran track, because she ran track when she was in high school and college, and then she got injured, and
Okay.
she just threw me in it one day just to, you know, kind of try it out, and that was when everyone like really noticed how fast I was. I think I started when I was about 7, and my first year I went to Junior Olympics. I got first in the 100, second in the 200, and then the second year I went back again. I got second in the 100, first in the 200, and then
Okay.
yeah, I stopped after that. It wasn't my thing. I felt like I was running for no reason. You know, I like to run for a purpose, kind of. You know, in football, you're running not to get tackled. Baseball, you're running to get to the next base. But
Right.
you know, it wasn't even about, you know, putting me in sports. It was just seeing all the sacrifices that she would make just to keep us active and give us a chance to, you know, excel. So big shout out to her for just everything that she's done for me. And shout out to my teammates from my high school. They always pushed me, kept me encouraged, and you know, they were basically became like another family to me. And shout out to my coaches also. Um, they definitely helped me out. Let me get some extra reps after practice, and you know, they also kept me as, you know, encouraged, and you know, not letting me basically fall into like a bad mental state, because like there was sometimes, you know, you just kind of feel like it's not going to get better, like, you know, you put in all this work and you're not getting the results, and they were like, don't give up, like you can't give up, because a lot of the younger kids on like the junior varsity team, even as bad as I was playing, they still kind of looked up to me, and you know, I couldn't self-destruct, not only for myself but because I had younger guys that were looking up to me. So if I was to self-destruct, that would make them think it's all right. So, you know, I had to stay up for really everybody, and at the end of the day, it was the right thing to do, because you know, they saw me come from the bottom and work my way up. I had proved to myself that I can, you know, overcome almost anything that I really put my mind to. So shout out to them, and shout out to Jackson State.
You see it.
Yes, sir.
You see it. So, man, I want to thank you for giving me a little bit of your time today, coming on to the show.
Yes,
So,
sir. Thank you for having me.
so
I appreciate
hey, man, it's all love, baby.
it. Yes,
That's
sir.
what the purpose of this show is, man. Our purpose is to exposure for HBCU baseball. And we're gonna be following you. And like I said, this bigger than baseball, man.
Yes, sir.
So you know how to get in touch with me. I appreciate you for coming on.
Yes, sir.
And you'll be seeing me on the hill in Jackson, bro.
All right. Yes, sir.
All right, man. You have a good one.
You too.
All right.
All right.